With the help of AI, we've brought to life two of the most controversial figures in geopolitics. On one side, an IRGC commander defending his nation's sovereignty. On the other, a former intelligence chief justifying a doctrine of preemptive defense. With 5 AI models as judges, we dive deep into their ideological clash. Does justice lie in resistance or preemptive survival? Stay tuned as we explore the future of the Middle East. Welcome to Debate Machine. In a region built on distrust and historical trauma, what justifies striking first?
The world said never again. We took that literally. We don't wait for missiles to fly or bombs to detonate. Preemption is survival. If intelligence says a threat is coming, we neutralize it before it hits Tel Aviv or Haifa.
And yet, it's always Israel striking first. You call it preemption, we call it aggression. Let me remind you, the Islamic Republic hasn't started a war in over 2 centuries. We respond to threats. We don't manufacture them.
2 centuries? Tell that to our northern border, where Hezbollah, your proxy, is stockpiling Iranian missiles. If you're not starting wars, why are your fingerprints all over every battlefield from Syria to Yemen?
If Hezbollah is defending Lebanon, maybe ask why Israel invades it. As for Syria, did we assassinate scientists and bomb Damascus airfields weekly? No, you did. You destabilize, then call the aftermath threats.
We act to prevent a second Holocaust. That's not hyperbole, it's strategy. When Tehran chants death to Israel, we take it at face value. Silence gets Jews killed. Action keeps them alive.
And yet, your action violates every principle of sovereignty and law. You want to be the judge, jury, and drone operator. But remember, preemption can't be a blank check for occupation and assassination.
Do proxy warfare and cross-border assassinations protect national security, or do they violate international law and fuel endless regional conflict?
We support liberation movements, not terror. From Lebanon to Gaza, people resist occupation and apartheid. If you occupy lands, you'll face resistance. We don't export chaos, we answer injustice.
We act against those who arm and fund our enemies, groups that openly vow to wipe us off the map. Targeted operations save lives. But when militias fire rockets from schools or use hospitals as shields, what do you call that?
And what about Mossad assassinating scientists in Tehran streets or blowing up consulates in Damascus? That's not state terror? Or is it only terror when your side bleeds?
We don't target civilians. We target operatives building weapons to erase us. Scientists like Mohsen Fakhrizadeh wasn't baking bread. He was enriching uranium. We don't apologize for defending the Jewish state.
Defending Israel by destabilizing every neighbor, your war is fought by drones, sabotage, and cyber attacks, yet you call us the aggressors. Maybe it's Tel Aviv, not Tehran, exporting violence.
Iran's proxies are Iran's foreign policy. From Baghdad to Sana'a, your Quds force acts like an empire in shadows. Don't talk to me about occupation. You built a quiet one with rockets and clerics.
And yet, the only language you understand is force. Resistance is not terrorism when your people are under siege. We don't hide our hands. We fight face to face. Can Mossad say the same?
Iran insists on its right to peaceful nuclear technology. Israel says that right is a path to a bomb. When does energy security become an existential threat?
Under the MPT, Iran is entitled to develop nuclear energy for peaceful purposes. We've allowed inspections. We've signed agreements, including the JCPOA, only to see them violated and sanctions reimposed. Are international laws only binding for those who lack power?
Intent matters more than ink, General. North Korea made similar claims, then detonated a bomb. Iran's advanced centrifuges, missile development, and concealment of sites raise flags. Peaceful programs don't need secrecy carved into mountain.
And yet the only nuclear state in the Middle East, Israel, refuses to sign the NPT, evades inspections, and denies even possessing weapons. You ask for transparency, but offer none. Is this a debate about law or about who has the leverage to ignore it?
Israel's policy of ambiguity is defensive, not offensive. We face regimes that openly call for our destruction. A nuclear-armed Iran isn't a hypothetical, it's a countdown. The JCPOA didn't dismantle capability, it delayed it.
Delay? The JCPOA was working until your allies torched it. Iran complied, you sabotaged. What you fear is not a bomb, but independence. You demand that Iran remain weak while you grow unchecked. But the days of one-sided security are over.
Iran enforces religious laws at home. Israel faces global accusations of apartheid. Which is the greater human rights crisis? And who gets to decide?
Let's be clear. Israel is the only functioning democracy in the Middle East. Arab citizens vote, sit in parliament, and hold high office. The apartheid label is a political tool, not a legal conclusion. Meanwhile, Iran's record is self-evident. Public executions, repression of women, and imprisonment of dissent. Where's your Geneva?
Let's begin with definitions, not slogans. The accusation of apartheid comes not from us, but from UN rapporteurs and international legal experts, denying millions of Palestinians freedom of movement, equal access to resources, or legal recourse is not democracy. It's structural domination. Iran, for all its flaws, applies its laws universally within its borders. We do not impose military occupation beyond them.
Universal laws? A woman can be jailed for showing her hair. Protesters are labeled foreign agents. You claim moral high ground, while your prisons are filled with poets and students. Isn't that simply repression with religious branding?
You speak of repression, yet the world watches on surveillance footage as your airstrikes collapse apartment blocks, killing children in their sleep and women holding no weapons but hope. These are not collateral errors. They are the logic of occupation. Tell me, who mourns louder, the prisoner or the parent pulling their child from rubble?
Israel defends itself against rocket fire, terrorism, and existential threats. Civilian casualties are never the objective. We face enemies that embed weapons among innocents. What would you do if missiles rained on your cities?
Iran has been under siege, economic, cyber, psychological. Yet we haven't initiated a war in over 250 years. We do not bomb cities to prove deterrence. Your democracy places 5 million people under military law while settlers enjoy civilian courts. Is that your definition of equal justice?
You're dodging the core point. Your state silences its own people for speaking their minds. This isn't cultural difference. It's tyranny disguised as tradition.
Rights without sovereignty are illusions. We do not pretend perfection, but we resist foreign domination, unlike those who subcontract justice to drones. You occupy, we defend, you kill, then call it precision. We endure, and you call it extremism. Let the people judge, not your cameras, not your Congress.
Both the Islamic Republic and the State of Israel were born of prophecy. Each believes chaos in the Middle East signals a coming deliverance. But does religious destiny guide their strategy or blind it?
In the eyes of Shia tradition, the world grows darker before the return of the Mahdi, the promised one. The rise of tyranny, injustice, and bloodshed is not random. It is foretold. But prophecy is not passivity. We act, we resist, because we believe his emergence depends on our readiness, spiritually, politically, and militarily. What you call chaos, we see as the unveiling of truth.
In our faith, the Messiah arrives not when the world burns, but when it is repaired. Tikkun olam, to heal the world, is our obligation, not to accelerate collapse. We don't wait for redemption by shedding blood. We build, we preserve, we defend. Your doctrine fuels martyrdom. Ours teaches moral responsibility.
Yet the world you claim to heal is soaked in injustice. From Gaza to Golan, when your state was founded, you invoked prophecy. Now you deny its relevance. You build settlements on scripture and missiles on memory. Don't lecture us about sacred restraint.
Defending a homeland carved from trauma is not conquest, it's survival. Yes, our ancestors dreamed of Zion, but the Holocaust made it necessity. We didn't choose prophecy. History forced it upon us.
Then you two are prisoners of destiny. The Mahdi, the Messiah, call him what you will. Perhaps we both wait. But until that day, it is action, not faith alone, that defines nations. And some of us act to end oppression, others to preserve it.
Now that the debate has concluded, it's time for judgment, not by humans, but by 5 of the world's most advanced AI systems. Each of them has evaluated the debaters based on 5 core parameters: ideological consistency, justification, moral clarity, communication and rhetorical power, real-world applicability. Full details are in the description below. Each AI judge has scored both characters, round by round, based on these parameters. The results you're about to see reflect not just performance, but a deeper ideological reckoning. Let's reveal the scores and discover who won the war of ideas. A razor-thin 10-point margin. Victory goes to the commander of resistance. Who do you think truly won? Comment below, subscribe for the next impossible debate. And remember, only AI could make this confrontation possible.